Yeah. Wasn't
It's noted.
the instructor a bit of a character that you had?
Yeah, this guy was called Rossano.
Rossano.
Rossano. He was Italian, and he was the smoothest man you've ever met in your life. Has slick back hair. He was talking about, you English drink with beer, we have espresso. It's like, I can't do an Italian accent. But he did this funny bit, because obviously through Tim being our instructor, we've been taught when you go to help a client not to touch, but ask permission if you need to adjust like a body part position. And he was going, he had this blonde woman, probably about mid-30s, and she was stunning. Wow. And he goes, in England, you have to say, oh, please, may I touch you? In Italia, oh, we touch. And this blonde bird absolutely loved it. My name is Rossano. Oh, it's hilarious. But yeah, really good qualification, and I'm really looking forward to...
He sounds like a mafia type figure.
It does. Yeah,
Slick
Rossano.
back hair. Was he wearing a suit?
No.
I'm going to make a note of that name.
Yeah, that's a slick
Look out for
name.
Rossano.
So yeah, that was my highlight of the week, or the last 2 weeks. And yeah, like I said, I look forward to starting some classes pretty soon.
Continuous improving.
Continuous improvement is what Kaizen is all about. Tim?
My highlight of the week. Well, obviously, I am in my job for the last 2 weeks. So highlight of last week was starting my new job.
Yeah, cool.
And then highlight of this week was picking up. I bought a new board ages ago.
Right.
And this is quite sad. And I thought, and it was quite plain. I was like, I really want to get it decorated. And a friend of my wife, good surfer, Corinne Evans, her mum, Kathy Evans, does board decorations.
Oh,
You
does
should
she?
check her out on Facebook. Kathy Evans, surfboard artwork, I think.
I think I've seen that before.
Wicked. And
We'll add her
Really
on
good
our
surfers.
Facebook. And
Corin and
Aaron, yeah,
Aaron's
wicked
really good
surfer, yeah.
surfer, isn't he?
And he's into
Aaron's
his CrossFit.
CrossFit. Yeah, I've seen
mental,
that recently.
yeah. And I just said I want a nice bright colours, try and recapture my youth a bit. So I'm getting on. And she's just designed the most amazing board. And if you've got if £40,
I have, actually.
go and get your.
I've got a board, plain board. I've been wanting to get some sort of graphics on.
Do it. She's got these special pens. She colours it in, lacquers it over, and it's absolutely.
Could she
quality.
do a
Special
design
price.
that I had already?
Yeah, do whatever you want. Draw a picture, squares, triangles, diamonds, anything you like.
And what was the shop called? Just so we can save on at home. So they can
Kathy Evans surfboard artwork. If you look for her on Facebook,
Yeah.
you can find. She's got like.
We'll add her
all
onto
over.
our Facebook, and then
Yeah.
we'll give everyone some
Amazing.
details,
Amazing.
hopefully.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
So Dan, over to you, mate. What was your highlight?
Well, my highlight, actually, I mean, my week's been pretty plain Jane, to be honest. It's not that I haven't had any highlights, but they've been pretty plain. I had a few good surfs with a few mates and that, but I do that anyway, so it doesn't really count. But my actual real highlight was it this Monday you came in a bit late and told us a story of why you were late to college?
I did.
This Monday? Because that was my highlight.
Yeah.
Or was that last Monday?
It was last Monday.
Well, last Monday, that was definite highlight for me because I laugh about it to this day.
It was funny.
So I won't tell the story. I'll let you tell it because we've got story time with Simon next.
Yeah.
So if you want to do
I'll
it,
let everyone know.
we've got a jingle for
Funny
it.
story.
Yeah.
Story time with Simon.
Right. Story time with Simon then.
Yeah, cool. So, last week, like you said, my mum's and my dad's two dogs, well, not two dogs, just one of the two dogs, went missing on a walk. And for the whole night, and this was near Polzeath,
Yeah.
and for the whole day they could not find the dog, which is called Jack. So, it was drawn on into the night and they still couldn't find it, so they actually had to come home. And I helped my mum the next morning at 5 o'clock in the morning to go and look for it. We couldn't find it anywhere, still couldn't find it. And eventually the dog, Jack, was found in Polzeath town walking down the side of a road.
Yay!
Yeah, so found
It's
it.
a good end to a story.
Yeah, but before I knew all of this, I was driving around taking a look for it, and I went down this dirt track, and lo and behold, it was getting muddier and muddier. My Vauxhall Astra is not a 4-wheel drive car. It doesn't take to mud very well at all. So I had to turn around in this field. Obviously, I got stuck.
Oh no.
In despair. So this was like 5 minutes away from any kind of civilization. It was ages away. I went to the nearest house. No one was there at the nearest house. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? So I had to use my, I had to improvise to try and get out. And I thought, what would Bear Grylls do? Okay. Right, first thing to do, let down the tyre. What about it stocking? So I started to let down the tyre.
Yeah, standard.
Still, it
Good
was
idea.
still getting stuck. It was still getting stuck. I
I
didn't
wouldn't
want to
think
wear it in. So I thought, wow, I need some kind of like friction underneath it.
Bit of traction, yeah.
Yeah, what have I got in the boot? Nothing in the boot. Okay, a few stones? No, a few stones aren't going to do it. Okay, it's going to have to be my trousers. So I had to strip off into my trousers, left in my boxers in the freezing cold, 7 o'clock in the morning, wedging a pair of my jogging trousers underneath my front tyre to try and get some friction off it. And I thought, this is it. If it doesn't work now, I am really screwed because I'm going to have to walk to the nearest house in my boxer shorts. So I jumped in, slowly started edging it forwards, and boom, released the tyre. Got it out, and I was stoked. I was like, yes, but I didn't stop. I couldn't stop because if I stopped,
Back to square one.
the tyre would sink back into the mud again. So I just floored it, got it round, hooked it round, got it back on the dirt track road, and got the hell out of there. Leaving my poor joggies behind in that
So at
field,
this
really.
point, you're in your car, in your boxers,
Yeah.
cold, and you've used your tracksuit bottoms to
Yeah.
get your car out.
I was
But
in
why
the-
didn't you go back for them?
Wow.
Why don't you
I
park
don't
the
know.
car and walk back and get?
True, I suppose I could have done.
Were you sort of in the moments of like an action film? I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I've had those joggies for a while now. They
Joggies.
served me well, and I thought,
At this point, were you tired and you just frustrated and you thought, forget the joggers?
yeah, I
There's
just wanted
better,
to
more
get
important
home.
things to be doing with this day than getting back for my joggers.
You just imagine him in his boxer
Yeah.
shorts driving.
Yeah,
It's a bit of regular occurrence.
I mean, you told me that when you came into college, and I laughed for like a few days.
I was even laughing on the way home. I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
So that was my highlight of the week.
Yeah, that's it, and that's my story of the week.
Story time with Simon. In the news.
Let's get ready to rumble. The David Hay and Derek Chisora incident.
In the news again.
Do you look malnourished and guilty? Elimination diets.
In the news.
Right, so yeah, in the news, the
Discuss.
David Hay and Derek Chisora incident. And they're having a little fight, weren't they?
Muppets.
A little out of the ring fight. People that don't know at home, they're both boxers, professional British boxers.
Role models.
Meant to be role models, yeah.
Meant to be.
And they're sort of ambassadors for the sport, and they had an actual brawl, a street fight, sort of.
What do you think of that, Tim?
Shocking. I think it wasn't even a brawl, was it? Someone just hit someone with a bottle, apparently. So they didn't even use their fists.
Do you think it was a publicity stunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I. But it didn't make sense because now they fought each other with tripods, weapons, in Germany. Probably quite a strict place, I imagine. You've been there.
Isn't
not that strict
your
anyway.
girlfriend's
Really.
from Germany, isn't she?
Yeah, your girlfriend's German. And it just made themselves look like idiots. You got those
Yeah.
two world champion brothers who were just being like the sensible role model fighters, really go about their business in the right way. And then you got them two British Muppets fighting. It just didn't make sense in my eyes. But they're trying to get obviously they're trying to get a fight out of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but David Hayes claiming that he will do the fight, but Derek Chisora's management team won't let it happen. So that's what that's how that argument started. Sort of Derek was saying that he'll fight David Hay, he'll beat him as an embarrassment. And obviously David Hay stood up and said, "Oh well, I will fight you." And
I don't think they'll let it happen anyway.
no,
I don't think the British boxing will.
yeah, but I think they both embarrassed themselves really, and should have just saved it for the ring if they want to do it in the ring.
Exactly. A lot of people have just turned around now and gone, "That's just ridiculous what they did."
I mean, I really like David Hay, and I lost a lot of
Yeah.
respect to him when he did that.
Massive respect lost, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, British sport doing well at the moment. Fantastic. Well done, boys.